Good evening and welcome back, Poetry Love Buzz. It is I, ZM Wise, and here I am with another home recording just for you. Tonight's video is what I like to call embarrassment at my expense for your entertainment and enjoyment. I've been writing as far back as 1995, when I was a wee little lad, and I've written everything in between. Stories, whether they were horror or fantasy-based, comic books, song parodies, even parodies of Weird Al Yankovic's parodies. And in high school, a little bit of erotica, not gonna lie. But in between all of that, I wrote poetry. It just came the most natural to me. Even when I was just a child. I read all the childhood poets. Shel Silverstein, Jack Perlotsky, Ogden Nash, many more. And I've even read more mature books when I was a kid, including Beowulf and the Odyssey. But what I have with me are two pieces that were dug up just recently. And over time I've been collecting scraps of paper with my earliest work, and I've gathered them all into one notebook, and then on the computer, one folder, and it's all my juvenilia. And before I read these two pieces, I'd like to encourage all of you, no matter what your field is, save everything. Do not throw away a document, do not incinerate it, unless it makes you feel better, I guess, because you will see your upward progression. You will see your self-evolution in your craft, believe you me. So without further ado, while I've stalled you as much as possible, these are two poems about Egypt, ancient Egypt. These two were for a class. When I read them, I tried to figure out where my head was at. And 6th grade, I was all over the place. It really was. Apparently I didn't title them. I just called it the first poem and the second poem. Ooh, I'm too good for a title. No, I'm kidding. There are plenty of poets who don't title their work. It's quite alright. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. So, the first one. I just really love mummies. They make me rumble in my tummy. And then I crossed off rumble in my tummy and thought it made more sense to say, they make me want to play gin rummy. And while I eat cookies, the mummies ditch school and play hooky. And the mummies tie their sister's bow, while I play 3 perfect games and make 3 shots in a row. The mummy's favorite food is worms. Oh, I hate while those worms wiggle and squirm. And that's basically why I like mummies. But I have to go and play a good game of gin rummy. And illustration, you know? Blood red mummy. Just walking on the grass, apparently. Oh, yes. Yes, I was a regular Rembrandt. But I got a 15 out of 15, so, hey, good grade. The second poem. Yeah, this was about the pharaohs, but instead I just called them Egyptian kings. Now let me tell you about Egyptian kings. Oh, those nasty kings! Woo! Are you weak in the knees yet? They would do such horrible things. They would steal, they would cheat, and also lie, but they always kept their eyes peeled. They made Egyptians whip the slaves with their whips. They would whip at the tip of the whip. Oh, those kings didn't give, but I don't want them to live. those nasty kings, they would do such horrible things. Woo! And the drawing of the two Egyptian kings, I couldn't draw the elegant Egyptian headwear, so I think this one's wearing earmuffs, the closest I could come up with. This one's saying do this, and this one's saying, you guessed it, do that. Yeah, and smileys. Smileys all around the page, you know, because that environment back then was nothing but jubilee. Okay, yeah, so, 2 poems from when I was in 6th grade, yeah. The earliest pieces I know of, I think I have about 4 or 5, or in between 1995 to 2001, before 6th grade. Back when reading those, I think it was like a cross between Silverstein and Dr. Seuss, to be quite honest with you, with a little bit of demented nonsense in here. But there you have it, poetry lovers. 2 poems I wrote when I was in 6th grade. Oh god. Yeah. I recently learned what the word cringe-worthy, or the phrase cringe-worthy, rather, not too long ago, and I've been using it ever since, especially with that big example. But in all seriousness, it's fun to see the evolution of the work, so. Poetry lives. I'm going to go just relax in my thoughts now and try not to think about that, so. Bye-bye.